Good morning, everyone. Thank you for sparing your time on this beautiful Saturday morning to listen to what we offer in the Department of Biological Sciences. I am Samson Chimphango. So our topics or subjects in the department are grouped in three themes, and these are ecology, ecophysiology, and evolution and systematics. So one of my colleagues in the department prepared a video that will explain the details of these topics, and I will now share that video. We might have time maybe to look at one or two questions at the end. So if you have got something you want to ask, please write that in the Q&A button so that we can have a look at the end. But there is also a question and answer session in the afternoon for the faculty, the Faculty of Science. So you are welcome to also attend that session for the questions that may not be covered now. So I'm sharing the video now to explain the details of what we offer in the Department of Biological Sciences. Yeah, and indicating the kind of issues that we deal with in the department, including the conservation, looking at the biological resources, the global change, and also how people interact with nature. We introduce, the topic to students, looking at the biodiversity, what this is, talking about a variety of things that we rely from the ecosystems, which are important for human health. But why is the biodiversity matter? Because this is where we get all our essential ecosystem services, including food production, water provisions, as well as regulating climate. The difficult part is that the biodiversity is threatened by habitat loss, pollution, and also climate change. So we do need to understand the activities that evolve around all these biodiversity, including the distribution and abundance, how biodiversity evolves, that's the evolution aspect, the ecology in terms of how they interact, the living organisms interact with the environment, and the conservation aspect of it. So yeah, why should we study biology at UCT? Yeah, perhaps that's for those that are familiar with the position of the Western Cape in South Africa. This is like the tip of Africa where the two oceans meet, and the meeting of those two oceans create excellent environment for the evolution of different organisms. Perhaps one of the reasons that the area is highly diverse. It's really a unique location that has got a huge biodiversity and social ecological context, making it an ideal environment, to study biology. Yeah, so we cover major fields in the department, including ecology, ecophysiology, evolution and systematics, global change, as well as conservation. So we go into the details on how these, what is involved, in these major fields, and how we can use that information to understand the huge biodiversity around us. Looking at the ecology part of it, so this is where we study the organisms and how they interact with the environment. We have got aspect of paleoecology, in the department that looks at the ecology of the past, And this is an important aspect to try to understand how the system has evolved from, the past to the recent, and perhaps how it might change in the future. Looking at the ecophysiology, this is where we try to understand the mechanisms that plants use, to survive in these different environments. And this is particularly important, especially with climate change. How do these plants, going to respond to climate change? Evolution and systematics, one of the key aspects to try to understand how the forms of, living organisms change with time and how they relate to one another in the aspect of systematics. This is where we look at the phylogenes, of living organisms. Field work is one of the important aspects of our activities. We have to go out there in the field to look at the living organisms themselves, how they uh, vary along certain ecological gradients, and then we provide the hands-on experience to the students, as we can see in this picture. Not only field activities, but we also do lots of laboratory activities, where specific, cellular and metabolic activities can be followed, in the process of understanding the living organisms. And our work, has got a huge applications in the field, for example, of conservation. I've already mentioned about global change. The management of natural resources is a key aspect where, we apply our knowledge, as well as how we can coexist between, wildlife and also people sustainably. So biologically, we work together with social sciences, the governance, and even historians in trying to understand, the living environments and the changing world. So we have a lot of several institutes, in the department, which, is specialized to look at, birds, for example, wildlife, and here it's a home of really key experts, global icons in their own world, trying, to deal with specific aspects of biology. So IC World is one of that. The Fitzpatrick, where they look at birds, one of the institutes, and Maris is another one. Plant Conservation Unit. So you are welcome and visit some of these institutes when you are at campus. Career examples is one of the common questions that we tend to be asked, like what do our graduates do, after their studies? They can go to a range of places, including research, becoming academics, teachers. Really is open to most of the careers. So even in this slide, we are seeing even in media, being a professionist, so government officials, or our graduates are involved in those careers. So here indeed, why study biology? We need ecosystem services from nature, and we need to understand how we can nature that these ecosystems in trying to create a sustainable future for all of us. So yeah, you can follow us in different means as indicated on this slide. Thank you. We'll stop here for the presentation. And there's only 1 minute. Let's see if there is a question that I can perhaps respond to in the Q&A. So one question say, how do you major in ecology, evolution, and conservation biology while doing BSc? So the BSc, is broken down into different majors. So one is expected to take 2 majors to give you enough credits for the BSc. So the ecology and evolution and conservation, the subjects in this area, they are in one major called biology major. And in that biology major, then you have a list of subjects that you can choose. You can choose ecology courses, evolution courses, or conservation courses, to get your biology major. That will be part of the BSc. So that was one of the questions. The other one is this: does this fall under a Bachelor of Science? So that's definitely a yes. As biology would be one of the majors, for the BSc. What are the high school subjects required for ecology? So biology is one of the majors of science. So really the issue is a student has to meet the requirements to register for BSc. And one of those requirements is to pass well in mathematics, at least 70% or more, and also pass physical science. Then you'll be, eligible to register in science. Then under the science, then you can pick biology as one of the majors to study all these things that I've mentioned. So those are like the questions that I have now, and that's where we end our session. Thank you.